Hey everyone, hope you're doing well and having a good middle of the week. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about where I'm seeing the real estate market and where I think it's going. Today I had my weekly brokerage-wide discussion with other agents in the city, and overall, though the market is still depressed and on the low side in San Francisco, the outlook for everyone is they're pretty good about what we're expecting next year. If you've been looking in the outside of the San Francisco, so the East Bay, the Marin, then you know that the market is definitely not down at all. It's as busy as it's ever been. But as I've mentioned in San Francisco before, that the market is for large portions of the city, it's looking down. I was doing some numbers on my own neighborhood in the Mission, and prices were down about 25% for single family home. So it's like an amazing time to buy right now. But what is coming down the pipeline? A lot of the agents are expecting that coming up in the next in the spring and next year is that people will start returning to the city. That with the election cycle having pretty much finished up, we have January 5th. So one last push, but the election cycle is over. The vaccine is being rolled out now in the United States. People are a lot more optimistic. Expectations are up. People are starting to think about coming back to the city. Agents were talking about how their condos, the people who are buying condos now are thinking about, even if they may have purchased outside the city over the past 8 to 10 months, they're thinking that they still want to have a San Francisco space. So condos are actually starting to pick up again. I personally have seen some condos that had been on the market for a couple months, had been incredibly slow for a large portion of the time on the market. The past week has been one of the busiest weeks that I've had for one specific condo in the Mission. And I think a lot of that has to do with buyer optimism is starting to go up. People are thinking, hey, now is things are looking better. It looks like, work may be opening up in the next 6 to 8 months, hopefully. Starting to think more about getting back into the real estate in San Francisco. Or if you have been already purchased or you are living outside the city, that you would want to have a San Francisco space, especially if you have to work in the city, work in the peninsula. You may have your place up in Sonoma, Marin, or somewhere out in the East Bay, but you need to have a central place closer to your office that you might work out of a couple days of the week, especially if you're not, you don't have kids and you have the ability to have, 2 different places that you can work from without a family yet. So condos are definitely we're starting to see those pick up. And I think as people come back to the city, that commute areas such as downtown. I've heard a lot of agents talking about the downtown market is starting to pick up. I think around the Mission is starting to pick up. So my guess is that we are a little bit at the bottom of the market right now in the city. I think by January, February next in the coming year, we're going to start seeing a pickup. By March, April, it's going to be a pretty busy year, and prices will probably start to rise. I'll do another update in the next couple of days, specifically about the November timeline, and then I'll follow up in probably the early in the year about what I've seen over the full year. But I do think that we probably are right now at the cusp of the bottom of the market for most of San Francisco, and that we're going to be slowly digging our way out of some of the lower prices over the next 3 to 6 months. So if you have any questions, you want to reach out, feel free to do so, and happy to talk more. Thanks all. Bye.